All right, let's start talking about those digital marketing channels. This is going to go quick. We're focusing on these marketing channels: search engine optimization, pay-per-click advertising, social media marketing, email marketing, and content marketing. And as a heads up, they all go together. With SEO, we're talking about focusing on your website and enhancing its ability to get found in search engines like Google and Bing. By optimizing the site, you have a higher chance of getting found for the right keywords, which means you're getting found in front of the right people to buy your product or service. It involves a few different aspects. One of them is the technical side, ensuring that a website is SEO compliant or good for search engines to be able to read them. And also a creative side, which means that anything within your website from a written standpoint should be topically relevant. You should show your expertise in something. And then the design side has to do with making sure that your site is easily navigatable by people, ensuring that people can navigate through the site, they can digest the content, they understand it, and they have a clear action that they should be taking. Within SEO, we're talking about keyword research. It is the foundation of SEO. There are a million articles telling you that SEO is dead, that keyword research is dead. None of those things are true. It involves making sure that you're picking and choosing the right keywords and phrases for your potential customers, and not just sticking to one phrase here or there, but things that are relevant to what you sell or what you do. When you understand your keywords, and I promise you it's easier than you think, you can start to tailor your website's content to include those keywords. But again, we're writing for people. We're making sure that this is for people and not for search engines. But you're going to improve the entire visibility of your site if you find those good golden nuggets of keywords where people can find your site easily. Then we talk about two different types of SEO, on page and off page. So on page refers to anything that's physically on your site, whether it's the title tags, meta descriptions, content quality, and I know that is super overwhelming. We will get to that. But it also makes sure that your site is SEO compliant and has a logical structure to it, ensuring that the page loads on the quicker side, it's mobile friendly, and just provides a good user experience. Anything off page is literally off of your website. So things that you can't necessarily control, but can have a hand in helping, like building backlinks, increasing your website's authority, and any type of credibility within the search engines that just lead to higher rankings. Then we get into content marketing. We talked a little bit about content when it came to your website, but that's not the only place where content reigns supreme. With content marketing, we're talking about legitimately any content that you are going to create. It has to be very clearly defined for your audience, and it has to drive some kind of action for your customer. So it's not one-off advertising. It is an ongoing process, but it's also something that shows you care about your customers or your client. It engages them, it entertains them with things like blog posts, videos, kind of like this one, infographics, ebooks, white papers, courses, things that actually help enhance the experience of the website user, the social platform user. And yes, you can include social content within content marketing, but something that engages them, entertains them, educates them. It has to have a purpose. The goals are to attract your very clearly defined audience, so whoever your target audience is, generate your brand awareness. So when somebody's thinking of mold removal or haircut, you are the first person they think of. Another goal is for traffic and lead generation. So growing more traffic, adding to the leads that you have. This is really important for service-based companies as well. And then engaging your customers, because you don't want them to just be one-off customers. You want them to come back time and time again. Now we're talking about social media marketing. So it definitely is a form of content marketing, but it is so much more than that. And we're talking about platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Telegram, LinkedIn, you name it. The biggest players that are out there right now, Facebook, Instagram. So we call that Meta now. Nobody actually calls it that, but that's what Meta wants us to call it. So be it. LinkedIn, which is primarily for business and professional people, And Twitter is now called X, but we're going to keep calling it Twitter because that sounds crazy. No offense to the powers that be, but it can't get past calling it X. Anyway, and then TikTok, YouTube. We're talking about gaining awareness, being able to promote your content, promote your brand. And the ultimate goal is to increase your brand awareness, drive website traffic, and foster engagement with your target audience. Do you need to have a social platform? No, you don't need to have a presence on any of the big companies. That's just not something you need to have. You do need to have a website. It should be SEO compliant and SEO friendly, but you do not need to show up on any social media platforms. However, if you are a local company, I highly recommend having a Google business profile. It is part SEO, part local SEO, and part social media marketing. Social media strategies include creation and curation, which is developing relevant content for your audience. It's going to help attract and retain your audience, and then making sure that you are continuously creating and curating more of the same content. Engaging people in the community, actively engaging with your audience, respond to comments, participate in conversations, go on your business social account and start commenting on other people's posts as your business. People love that. You're also going to want to encourage user-generated content in order to build that community around your brand. In some cases, this is not relevant, but in many cases, it is. And then paid social advertising, which we'll get into a little bit in PPC or pay-per-click content, but you're utilizing all of the advertising tools that the powers that be, like Meta, X, TikTok, that they have in order to reach a very specific type of target, a very specific audience, in order to just increase your reach, your visibility, and your content. Then we get to email marketing. Email is one of the oldest practices in the book. From one of our last modules, you already knew that this was part of the inception of our digital marketing way back in the 90s. But it's just a practice of sending email messages out to groups of people. These are great for when you have discounts, when you have news, when you have a new blog post that you've published, anything that you feel is important to get out to people. This is also what we call CRM, or customer retention management. It's a whole system in and of itself that allows you to plug and play with automation to send out information to people that you think they like. You might think that this information is relevant to some people over another, but it's just a way to keep people engaged. And it is definitely part of email marketing. The benefits of this is that it's super cost effective. You have a very high return on investment, and it doesn't cost you a lot to send out mails or emails. Unlike mailers, where you have to pay per postcard and then you have to pay for the postage, this is email. So if people don't want to read it, they can just toss it in the garbage. It doesn't really cost you much other than the cost of the platform you choose. You can provide personalized communication where, based on the recipient's behavior or their past interactions with their brand or with your brand, or their behavior, their preferences, you can send them different types of messaging. And then you can also measure your results. So you can take that information, look at the analytics and say, wow, okay, cool. Now I can figure out who are the better people to send emails to. So let's say if you have a group of people who on a consistent basis do not open your emails, you don't have to send them the emails. Then we get into pay-per-click advertising, which is one of my favorite things because it allows you to pay to play. And we're talking about platforms like Google Ads, Microsoft for Business, Meta, LinkedIn, anywhere where you are technically paying for the cost of the click. So on the Google side, you're paying for usually the cost of the keyword click, and that varies depending on the keyword. Whereas on the Meta program, TikTok, you may be paying differently based on the click. But it's just a method of buying visits to your website from another platform instead of earning those organically. So if you have a social presence, there's organic social, and then there's paid social. Similarly, there is organic search, SEO, and paid search, which is PPC or SEM, search engine marketing. The benefits is that you pretty much get immediate traffic. It will start sending traffic immediately, but if your budget is too low, that will not be true. It gives you more precise targeting options, meaning you can plug in the audience demographics and information that you think belongs to your audience, and you can target them specifically. And then you can provide a return on investment or a return on ad spend by looking at how many people did I send to the site, how many people clicked over to the site, and then how many people performed some kind of an action that I would consider a conversion. And that just gives you better data-driven marketing decisions moving forward. So how do you integrate all the channels? Well, you don't have to do all of the channels. You can pick and choose the things that you should do versus the things that you may want to do. You don't need to do them all. If you are going to do SEO, which I highly recommend, you are going to need to do content marketing in some way, shape, or form. You do not have to do emails, but they don't hurt, especially when you just want to send them out in advance or send out one per month with just new discounts, new deals, whatever it is. You do not have to do social media. It is more labor intensive, but it is a phenomenal way to get in front of people who don't know your business exists. You also don't have to do paid marketing, but again, phenomenal way to get in front of people who don't know that your business exists. So it does enhance online visibility. They can work very well together. Consider it like a set of gears that when they're all well oiled, they all work better together. You can do a multi-channel approach to increase your business's presence. So you can do organic search and paid search, and they work very well together. The same thing with organic social and paid social, they work really well together. You can increase your engagement and conversion rates, which at the end of the day just means more money for you. And then you also have this kind of synergy between all of the channels where you figure out where people are coming in, where they may not have heard of you before, and then how do you get them to re-interact with your business later on. And it's a really cool process from my point of view.